Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to be seated? We are starting exciting morning session. We wanted to start with coffee break, but there was no coffee. Organizers of Sofia Platform, every morning session should start with coffee break next time. Yeah. Whatever break, waiting for shuttle. Okay. Good morning, everybody. It's really a joy to be at another Sofia Platform. I was privileged to participate at previous sessions as well. And I was just telling during this pre-coffee break thing to Hassan and colleagues that this is one of those conferences that if one would measure energy in the room, this is a high energy conference always. Passionate panels and passionate audience, and since I moderate all kinds of meetings, I think Sofia Platform is truly high energy meeting. I hope that this morning session will continue in this tradition after lovely dinner we had at Turkish embassy, where we could pay respect to Kemal Atatürk and his room when he was military attaché. This was something. I think organizers did a nice thing to bring us into cross-section of history, realities, and so on. So Turkish embassy deserves gratitude for that. I would like to frame a bit discussion and then ask our panelists to step in. We will need to end roughly, we will prolong only a little bit because we need to continue this. Organizers will tell us how much we will be able to extend this session. I am coming from Slovakia, formerly Czechoslovakia. Next year, not only us, but whole world will celebrate 25th anniversary of fall of Berlin Wall, series of revolutions in part of the world where I live, which redefine and change history of Europe, but also in particular history of our region, and Bulgaria was part of that change. I think that very often we are trying to make these comparisons between what went on when Arab Spring started, that it will be domino-like sequence of events where one country after another will just change. Because this happened in our countries. All former Soviet bloc countries, one after another, mostly without pain, in some countries with little casualties, but mostly without pain, swept across the region, and it started to changing. We usually tend to forget that this was not only peaceful and normal transition, because whole Balkans erupted with enormous suffering and casualties, but also in other countries neo-authoritarianism emerged. Because if you have country like Belarus, today the only country which is excluded from Council of Europe because of human rights violation on large scale, but also many other countries, this is not the situation that after '89 our revolutions brought just sort of membership in European Union and peaceful thing. Even within European Union member states, today we are in Bulgaria, today will be big protests, we saw some protests. Hungary and its political system also has all kinds of surprising evolutions. So I think that even making comparisons, and this panel will try to explore and look at some differences, commonalities, I think needs to be looked at with less sort of rosy glasses or pink glasses, what's going on also in other countries where revolution occurred in '89. Whole notion of democracy, and this panel also wants to look at this, where the region, what is happening, and how the systems and political transition is going on in Arab world or MENA region and Central and Eastern Europe. Because I think that yesterday showed that we have ranged from countries where They are doing relatively fine, Tunisia, but we have countries like Syria, which occupy so much of our mental and emotional energy, how to face this situation. So with this, I think that we have a lot of space for looking at the region, its transition to something, whether it's democracy or something else, we will see. We have 4 panelists to tackle with these issues. I think that I wanted to ask Hassan Mneimneh, who is senior fellow with the German Marshall Fund and colleague of mine, to look at broader picture, what's going on in the region and connect it with past and present. Then second panelist will be Ahmed Driss from Tunisia, academic, professor of international relations at Faculty of Law, Economic Science and Management of Tunis, and also director of Tunisian School of Politics since February 2012. There is a lovely screw-up, which if you look at your brochure, you may think that Ahmed had some facelift, because I was sort of confused sometimes pictures, but this is just totally wrong picture. So Ahmed, this is real, Ahmed.
For that, because this is a policeman, a secretary general of the syndicate of union, of the syndicate of police in Tunisia. He's a nice guy, but...
So policemen wanted to be known. Now on we know that this is policeman, but Ahmed is real. And biography is okay, he confirmed. Then we have Mohamed Khalaf, originally from Iraq, but Mohamed lives already for 30 years in Bulgaria, and he teaches at university. He is professor, and I think that he is perfectly, through his biography, suited to do some comparisons between the world of Iraq and MENA region and this country. And he will be followed by Julian Popov, who is Bulgarian, but you need to fix the telephone or okay, policeman is listening. Yeah. And Julian is so another interesting person, because Julian is well-known academic NGO guy, expert in energy environment, also served briefly in interim government as Minister of Environment, but unlike Mohamed, he lives in UK. So we have Iraqi living in Bulgaria and Bulgarian living in UK. So Julian will also look at how these transitions, Bulgaria in particular, and some protests which are taking place here, could be compared with some trends, what's going on in the MENA region. So with this, I would like to ask panelists to take max 10 minutes in order to have still Q&A after this. Hassan, if I may ask you to kick off with a broader look at the region and its political transition.
Thank you, Pavel. I'm going to try to look at 2 elements. Meaning, I'm trying to look at the prospects for positive development in this next century by taking the longue durée, if you'd like, review of the past 2 centuries. And this is in 10 minutes. It's rather a challenging task, but I think it's important.